We have recently taken on a young, she's about 8-month-old, reactive German Shepherd. Young bouncy girl. So they got in touch with me a couple of months ago. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. Got in touch with me a few months ago. Couldn't actually fit her into the group, so I had no place for her. I just literally could not fit another dog on. Anyway, they got back in touch for a couple of weeks ago, asking if I definitely have no space at all for her, because they got in touch with a few of them. Some of them they didn't like, some of them they didn't want to let take the dog. A few of them wouldn't take German Shepherds, and the recommendations I gave for other dog walkers, they were absolutely packed, so they couldn't fit her in. So anyway, I felt bad for her, so we managed to find some space. We had a couple of days here and there for her. Anyway, so I'm going to show you a video in a minute or two, because she was classed as reactive. They've been to a couple of trainers, they're doing work on her. She pulls on lead a little bit, stuff like that, and they're saying that she's reactive towards dogs, and the owners have said to avoid, sorry, not the owners, the trainers that they've been to have said to avoid these triggers and keep distance. And I completely disagreed with that when I met the dog and I told him my views. I went and met him. The dog was super sweet, honestly. She was such a bouncy, loving little shepherd. And they were lovely, the dog were lovely, had a really nice temperament towards people. And they were obviously said that it's reactive towards dogs, and they've been told that they need to avoid the triggers and avoid other dogs until they can get it sorted and stuff like that, which I, like I said a second ago, I completely disagreed with. Anyway, so I went and met her, and it turns out this dog did pull on lead due to how pent up she is, just how, anyway, she sees dogs. She hasn't had proper socialisation as a puppy. She's had very little socialisation, and proper socialisation at that. So she's a little bit excitable, gets a little bit excited on the end of the lead. She starts barking, a little bit of yapping, pulling, a bit swirling, and it does come across to people that don't realise what it is as aggression, because she's pulling to get to these other dogs. And then in turn, people are very reluctant to let their dogs off to play with this dog, so she's not getting playtime. And all that's happening now is that she's not getting socialised. She's getting not the chance to play with other dogs, so she's getting more and more frustration. A lot of this reactivity is not aggression in any way, shape or form. It's pent up energy. It was pent up energy that she wanted to go and see these dogs, and she wasn't being taught how to control this, which is why I feel like avoidance training and avoidance techniques don't work for these kind of dogs, because yeah, triggers were getting her riled up, but she weren't being taught how to deal with it, and she weren't getting the chance to deal with it properly. So I said to him, right, look, I said, I'll take her on, I'll put her in with a semi-high energy group, really well temperamented dogs, but lots of energy that can match it, because she was very, very bouncy. And I'll put her with well socialised dogs that can handle her, and see how we get on. So got her out the car. Introductions one by one went very well, lots of play bouncing, lots of bowing, but she was super pent up. So we got the other dogs out, and same again, good meetups, no aggression whatsoever. So she was super pent up, and she was pulling on the end of the lead, and there was no point me trying to deal with that lead manners there. That weren't the right time to try and deal with lead manners. So what we did, we got straight into the field, and I let a couple of dogs off, and they were running around, and she was on the end of the line. She was like, she was ready to go. She hadn't done this, it were all new to her. The place that we were going to were new, the smells were new, the dogs were new. She was super excited, and she was acting out. So we dealt with this in a different way. So I let the rest of the dogs off, and I put her on a long line just to give her that little bit more freedom and space, so she weren't constantly being on lead with any lead tension whatsoever. And all I did was, when she was calm, I was rewarding the behaviour, when I got her focus on me, because she was very switched on. She was still focusing on me regardless of how many dogs there were. Like I say, she's never been in a park, she's never had any training whatsoever. And any socialisation or any social training with like other groups and stuff that much. So it were all very new to her. Anyway, as the walk continued, I could see that she was just getting more and more pent up, and she wanted to get off. Anyway, I'm going to show you the video in a second, and this is what people were classing as aggression. And this is what other trainers were classing as aggression, and telling them to avoid these triggers, telling her to avoid dogs, and all she was doing was getting more and more pent up, more and more frustration. It was the wrong way to go about it. She needs to have this outlet to run around with these other dogs, and then all we need to do is make the behaviour neutral. Seeing other dogs on the street or in their groups or anything like that needs to be neutral. It doesn't want to be, because she's so excitable, it doesn't want to be a super positive thing. And when she sees dog and she's, yeah, good girl, pop, 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 treat, 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 treat. It's a good thing, but you don't want her to get too excited, because she was very excited, very food driven. You don't want her to get too excited that when she sees the dog, oh my God, treats are coming, this is amazing, because that will just fuel the excitement. But you also don't want her to be scared or anxious. But he weren't anxious, and it were over excitement and over arousal. So that needs to be neutral. You need to reward the neutral behaviours, where she's just walking calmly and not paying attention. So eventually we got her on the 5 metre line, and then once we got sort of up there where there were nobody around and I could see all directions, and she seemed pretty focused on me and the dog, she weren't going to go anywhere, I let the long line go. I just let the 5 metre line trail on the deck, and this is the video now. Come on, guys. Down, girls. Come on, pups. Like you can see, she's just so happy. That is honestly one of the best parts of my job, is getting these kind of dogs and just giving them exactly what they need. Because like I say, trainers saying avoid the triggers, stay away from them, and then other dog walkers not saying like, oh, I can't take her if she's going to be like that with the other groups, they'll upset the dynamic, which I understand. Some dog walkers might not want to take that sort of behaviour, but I could just see from the way she were at the start that she needed something. She needed what we give her. So we're starting out with 2 times a week for walks. We're going to work on lead manners around other dogs, and we're going to work on neutral behaviour around other dogs, just rewarding the quiet, calm behaviours. But yeah, it's so nice to see. Honestly, it was just one of the best things ever. When you get a dog like that, where the owners have been struggling with her because she gets so excited and aroused on lead. No, it was just one of the best things ever. And I'm glad we've got her. Hopefully we can get her to a really good place where she's a lot calm around dogs. But she's still super young. She hasn't even hit adolescence yet. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do, and I just wanted to share that with everybody, just to show you. It's just one of the best things ever. One of the best things ever. So like reactivity, it's a delicate situation because you want it to be the right one. But when I met her and I could see how she was acting, I just could tell that avoiding other dogs and what they were classing as triggers, it just weren't going to work. We needed to get her in a pack and get her socialised with some well-mannered dogs and get rid of this energy and frustration. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Quick video, and I'll see you later.